Well, hey, how's it going? Right on, right on. Well, welcome to the neighborhood bike shop. And the fourth part of the customization and rebuild of this 1993 AMP Research B3 and converting it all to white, like all kinds of white stuff on it. Anyhow, the last little bit is all we have left to do, which means that basically I can just throw some cables in it, get it going, tune it up, go ride it. So let's make that happen. So the very first thing that I did on this thing is it had such an unusual cable configuration. Like the routing configuration is very unusual. On this side, there are 3 spots for cable routing to go down the length of this tube. And the only time I'd use that is if I was using a mechanical disc brake on the rear to take up this 3rd spot. So instead of taking up the 3rd, or trying to take up all 3 of these spots, I'm going to just run the front and rear shifting off of this location. And then I'll flip it over and show you the bottom of it. It's really very interesting. Anyhow, so let's put some brake cable on this thing now. These are my shift cables. Like I went in and pre-measured how long they needed to be, and I just kind of put them there because it helped me remind exactly what side they were for and what was going on with them. But I can take those out now. Nice. So for the rear brake, it goes through this gusset at the head tube and then hits a cable stop and then goes open cable until the back. Kind of cool. And just like that, we should have some breakage. And that cable's got to get stretched way out. Right now I'm just kind of pulling on it right here to stretch it and set the ferrules on the ends of the cable housings. Sometimes it takes them a little bit to get them to seat the right way, so just expect that anytime you're doing this. Awesome. I'm not going to clip it completely off, and because these are linear pull cable calipers, I like to tuck them behind all this stuff, so I usually leave about 4 inches. Onto the front. Nice. And they need to be adjusted, but now we have brakes on the front and rear. And again, I'm going to cut this off about 4 inches, about the length of the linear caliper pull arm. Nice. And on to the shifting. The shifting is going to be a little bit unusual on this bike, and there's going to be a couple very kind of unique situations that I'll show you and that I addressed, hopefully, in a way that makes it work really, really good. But it's just adjustable. Okay, if you've never ever threaded up friction shifters, just go through your friction shifter location. But I always just go straight through and back, and then from the side through the main, I don't know, exit of it, instead of trying to thread it straight from here to there, because I can always just pull that, and then now it's right in the right place. So that works good. Boom, bada bing. Now to put the other parts in the other places. So let's do the rear shifting first, because I think that's going to be pretty interesting. So that was, yeah, this is this. Right. Give you a little better view of how I'm running this down the side. And this is for my rear shifter, which I've already determined is right here. You'll see that when I flip the bike upside down, so that you can clearly see why I'm doing what I'm doing. Very interesting. So for the rear derailleur, they run the cable housing through the seat stay, or the chain stay, the right chain stay, like the interior of it. 1993, and they're doing cool interior routing things. Very cool. Oh, got an extra one. Now I know all of this has got to get stretched. All of it's going to have chain stretch. It's going to be moving around. Things are going to be changing where it's at. But just like that, we have our rear shifting. Sweet. And until I'm satisfied with how this is happening, I am going to leave a little bit of extra on here so I can cut it off later. You never know. Okay, onto the front. Now the front one is going to be a little bit more interesting, and I'll show it to you why when I get there. But it is definitely a unique kind of situation that I really haven't seen before, except for on this bike. This is the only one that I've ever seen do this. Okay, and this comes over to the opposite side. And we're going to go to the top port on this opposite side over here. So, coming in here for the front derailleur shifting, which is connecting into a piece that I have already figured out. But I'm going to see if I can tickle this up through, or I want it to go. Nice. Give me a moment and I'll flip the bike upside down and show you what just happened, which is actually really cool, but you can't see it all from where you're at. All right. And like that, I should have front derailleur shifting. And I do. Sweet. Okay. Let me flip this upside down so you can see what I was talking about, what's going on the bottom side. What we have here is, this is the front derailleur cable. And it was before just a piece of cable that was coming from this lower cable stop around to another cable stop on the bottom bracket. Well, I wanted it to be a little bit tougher than that, so I put a brake noodle to make that transition around that corner smoother and hopefully to make it a little bit tougher in that area. Plus, I think it looks cool. And then the rear derailleur comes from up here, comes along, and then goes down into the chainstay. Right there. Which I think is super neat. Let me slap some lights on and see if that makes it easier for y'all to see it. This whole assembly right here is really pretty cool. Anyhow, turn this thing over, cut some cables, and dial it in. Throw a chain on it and go ride, man. Leave an extra. Okay, we should be good on all the extras until I'm tuned. I also took this bike from a 8-speed to a 9-speed with the potential of going to a 10. And down the road even, I mean, it just depends. I'm not opposed to having multiple front chain rings, like a derailleur on the front. I don't need it to be one by, but there are advantages to one by, and one of them is it's a cleaner setup. There's just one shifter and one cable instead of two. But for where I live, I grew up with a triple chainring. And I always utilized it. Like it seemed to work really, really well. Like, we have stuff here, terrain that is, not just stuff, but we have terrain here where having a really, really wide range is very beneficial. Okay. Nice. Very nice. Okay, the other thing that kind of is lame about this project is everything's white. So any bit of grease on your hands and you got to stop and go wash before you can move on. But just real quick, like, oh, right on. Anyhow, so all I did is I went back and I did some adjustments on the brakes, and then I put crimps on the ends of all of my cables, and now this bike is done, son. Other than test riding it and making sure that it is like working the way that I want it to, I can already go through the shifting and it's totally smooth, and it's just awesome. Especially like on older bikes that have 9-speed, like index 9-speed. It's just like click, 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 click. Super easy. And I'm super excited about this thing. So like I said, all I did from the last thing that you saw was put crimps on the ends of all the cables and tune it. And I'm going to take it outside and pedal it around on my birthday. Oh, by the way, the day that I'm filming this is my birthday, April 4th. Probably this video surely won't come out until like April 6th or 7th. But anyhow, this is my birthday present to myself, and a lot of other people have been really cool and have kicked in. John Grafton, he's just been awesome on this whole thing. I had another one of my buddies I don't have his name on the tip of my mind right now, but he sent me a picture of one of the shocks that are on these AMP bikes. And he's like, hey, is this the same kind of shock that's on that bike? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'll send it to you. How cool is that, man? I have the coolest friends. Anyhow, I hope you guys are having a great time. And like I said, the next time you see me, we're going to be pedaling, and this will be outdoors, and we'll have way better views of it. Hopefully we'll get a sunny day tomorrow or later on this afternoon. Right on. Okay. Love you. All right. So this is the first real shakedown ride of the AMP Research B3. We got the janky stick holding it up. But all in all, I think this bike turned out beautiful. I've recently learned that apparently these bikes had some issues where they would break down. The suspension wasn't very good. Well, I'm gonna put your worries at ease and let you know that this bike is going on a wall somewhere. And it's not really a rider. It is going to be a genuine trailer queen. Like I said, man, all the little details I did really kind of come out in a big way. Like the cockpit with the white lever covers. Oh man, against the chrome, just looks fantastic. White headset. White shock. Seat clamp, saddle rail seat clamp, chain ring, and pedal cages all got custom painted white. All in all, I am super stoked on the way that this has turned out. And yes, I immediately could feel that the brake power on this bike demands that you have a doubler on the linear brakes. That just doubles the pull rate of the lever. But I can get those. I think I even have some. So those can go on there fine. Other than that, there's no way you're gonna make those forks real stiff. They're always gonna be flexy, but that's all right. I'm only gonna ride this bike like once a year, if that. Other than that, it's probably gonna just get hung up on a wall or hung from the ceiling somewhere and looked at and dreamed about. Okay, right on. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Neighborhood Bike Shop. And I hope you'll check out more of my videos. Please subscribe, give me a like, throw in some comments, that'd be sweet. Oh yeah, I am having serious medical issues that are going on in my life that I don't have the money to pay for. I have a donation spot down below where you can donate. If you can just kick me down $5, $10 to my medical fund, that'd be greatly appreciated. Just trying to chip away at these giant medical bills. Anyhow, love you guys. Get out and ride. It is beautiful out, man. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you next time.